Hey, good afternoon. We're here in Gautier, Mississippi. We did 50 miles today. Maybe we did 40 miles. I can't remember. There was a giant causeway, a giant bridge um, over part of the Mobile Bay that we could not ride on because there were winds that were gusting up to 50 miles an hour. It just was not safe for us to ride over that, so we drove over that, and as a result, today's ride was shorter than we expected. Tomorrow, we're going to do another century, another 100 miles, and we'll end up on the far side of Lake Pontchartrain, which is the lake in New Orleans, and we once again will drive into the city. Um, the causeway between Mandeville, Louisiana, which is a suburb of New Orleans, and downtown is either 24 or 32 miles long. I can't remember. My in-laws used to live in Mandeville, and I just can't remember how long the bridge is. So you can't ride a bike on it legally. So we'll be skipping that tomorrow as well. I'm really excited because Joanne is meeting us in New Orleans tomorrow. Um, just going to be amazing to spend 12 days on the road with her. We haven't even been on the road for 12 days, and I miss her like hell, and wish Grady could come as well, but that little thing called high school gets in the way of that. So we'll see Grady further down the road. Joanne will be with us through Austin. Um, so she'll get a flavor of what we're doing out here. She'll become part of it, and just be great to spend time with her on this adventure. It's really fun. Um, Coming to grips with a little bit of a physical limitation that I have. My left shoulder. Um, it's just starting to really hurt. Kurt, who's our soigneur out here, he's the man responsible for taking care of our bodies, make sure we're in good working order. He thinks I have tendonitis um, right up in here in the top of the bicep. That's the shoulder that I crashed on in Palm Springs in April. Um, so yeah, I certainly hadn't done this kind of riding since I crashed. And so 500 miles in, 550 miles in, it's starting to really, really hurt. We're going to ice it in a little bit. It's actually as soon as I put this computer down, and we're going to put some arnica on it overnight and do a little bit of that in the morning as well before I ride. So just dealing with the body and all, and of course the emotional impact of that crash touching into my life in October is pretty big. When that crash happened, I was up on the top of the mountain in Palm Springs with Polly and Pablo. I had ridden up, and they followed me up in the car, and Pablo and Polly were with me minutes after the crash, and Pablo sat there with me on the curb and put his arm around me and comforted me, and certainly comforted me in the hospital when they were jabbing needles in my arm. Um, so just a big reminder of that whole time, and makes me sad. And I'm going to do what I can to process that sadness and to, most of all, to accept it so it doesn't cause further pain anywhere in my body. Um, Riding today with Dearman and Joe was a lot of fun. We'll talk to those dudes on video later on in our night dedication. I want to involve them in what we're doing here. But it was great. It was really windy today. I think the winds were north of 20 miles an hour for many stretches of the road today. So we zipped through Biloxi, we zipped around Biloxi, I believe. And a lot of the towns that we go through, quote unquote, we're actually just going sort of around them on side roads, so we're not going through the middle of the department stores and major traffic and stuff like that. So all of the children we've been dedicating our rides to, and all of the children we've been doing our nightly dedications to, are in our hearts every day. It's hard to remember everybody's name and everybody's story as we get into our 7th day of riding. We certainly have the person who we're dedicating each day's ride to in our hearts, and I certainly think about those kids every day. And I just want to do a little reminder about what we're doing out here and why we're doing it on today's afternoon dedication. The feedback we're getting from people on email and comments on the blog and direct messages on Twitter make me believe very clearly that our message is getting through, and people understand why we're here. People are cheering us on from Sydney and from Dublin and from Berlin, as well as cities around the U.S., New York, Portland, Seattle, San Diego, certainly Los Angeles, Austin, Houston. If I missed your city, sorry, I'll get to it tomorrow, the next day. So if you've sent us a comment or a direct message or an email, thank you. It means a lot when you're sitting here in Gautier, Mississippi, and there's four cars in the hotel parking lot other than ours. It gets a bit lonely out here, but our purpose is never far from our hearts, ever. So with that, I'm going to hit stop, and I'll check in with you guys later, okay? Bye.